Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Hostility, and today I am back with another gaming PC build. And I know I haven't done one of these in a little while. Like, the past two videos that I've done have been vlogs, and you guys seem to really enjoy them, and I really like making them, so they're going to become a regular part of the channel. But PC builds are still a core part of my channel, so if you're afraid that they were going away, they're never probably going to disappear from this channel. But either way, I've blabbered on too much, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm doing the $1,000 full setup, and by full setup I mean that, you know, this PC this PC build includes a monitor, mouse and keyboard, and a headset to get you going straight away playing your game, so you don't need to worry about any extra costs. And I haven't added in the OS, and I'll give my reasons for that in a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The gameplay that you're watching in the background is some Black Ops 3 zombies on the Eisendrache, and you know, I haven't played the new map yet, so I'll probably try and get some gameplay of that. But either way, enjoy that, and let's go ahead and get started. With the CPU, I've chosen the Intel Core i5 6500 3.2 GHz quad-core processor, and this is obviously a really solid choice. I recommend it in most of my budget builds, ranging from $800 to around $1,000. Just really solid stuff. This thing will be able to get most of your tasks done, so more than enough for gaming. And you know, with this build, you know, I assume that a lot of content creators, people getting into YouTube, will be building this computer, so you know, this CPU will be more than enough to handle very light editing and stuff like that. So it is clocked at 3.2 GHz, which is a pretty decent clock speed, and it is quad core, so it is able to handle multitasking really well. Going on to the motherboard, I've chosen the Gigabyte GA-Z170X UD3 ATX LGA1151 motherboard, and the reason I chose a Z170 motherboard for a non-overclockable CPU is that, you know, I believe that, you know, with someone who is a content creator, they would want to upgrade their PC in the future in order to produce better content. So in maybe like 3 years time, you could probably pick up a 6700K from eBay, Craigslist, Trade Me if you're in New Zealand, and you know, snag up a really good deal, and you know, have the performance of an i7. Because, and like, let's be real, like in 3 years time, the i7 6700K will still be a very relevant CPU, and you know, you just bump the performance like just like that, and be able to like live stream and stuff like that. Also, with the Z170 board, you get really nice added features such as USB 3.1 as well as M.2 and all those good stuff. This is a little bit of a nicer motherboard, which means that if you are going to pick up a 6700K and overclock it, you will be able to achieve higher overclocks. And it is a Gigabyte board, which means, you know, they have the ultra durable series. They use really good components on these boards, which means they will be very long lasting boards and be a really solid backbone to this computer. Going on to the memory, I've chosen the G.Skill Ripjaws 4 series 16GB DDR4 2133 memory, and you know, the reason I chose 16GB is because right now, as I'm recording this, I'm using 7.4GB with Premiere open and stuff like that. Memory usage is increasing with more demanding apps and games and programs and stuff like that, so having 16GB is actually not a bad idea. And you know, a lot of people might say, you know, 8GB is more than enough for gaming. I tend to disagree, because in the foreseeable future you will have to upgrade. 8GB is just not enough anymore. So yeah, with the G.Skill sticks though, they are very solid RAM sticks. You know, 16GB is a really nice amount. So if you do plan on upgrading, you can chuck in another kit and get 32GB of memory, as well as it being clocked at 2133, which means it's just the standard DDR4 clock, which means it'll be just fine and you won't have to touch the overclocks on that. So very solid pair of RAM. If you don't want to spend too much on RAM and you want to maybe upgrade later, you can just pick up like one stick. And I have the same kit in my computer, and it runs just fine. Going on to the storage, we have the power couple combo, the SSD and HDD combo, very solid stuff. So with the SSD, I've chosen the ADATA Premier SP550 240GB 2.5-inch solid state drive, and I feel like every time that I you know, use this part, I'm reiterating myself, but for the sake of this video, I will explain why I've chosen this hard drive. So ADATA isn't a very well-known brand, however they produce really nice SSDs. They use the same components as the Samsung 850 EVO, which means, you know, they are using high quality components, and it's not just some Chinese knockoff shit. So you're getting the real deal here. You get speeds just as fast as the 850 EVO, if not probably around the same or maybe even better. So yeah, and you get it at, like, you know, a really good price. So the price to performance ratio is really incredible on these. 240 gigabytes is plenty to store your OS, a couple of programs and a couple of games on there, stuff that you want to access really quickly, and will give you really fast load up times, and yeah, everything will be super fast and snappy. Now going on to the hard drive, I've chosen the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5 inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive, and you know, several reasons again, and I feel like I'm reiterating myself, but again, for the sake of the video, Western Digital, very solid brand. They make really nice reliable hard drives. 1 terabyte is plenty of room to store your movies, music, games, pictures, other stuff that you want to store on your hard drive. I don't judge you guys, but whatever you want to store on this drive, you will have plenty of space with 1 terabyte, as well as it's spinning at 7200 RPMs, which means you will be able to access your files reasonably fast. Obviously not as fast as an SSD, but you know, it is like a, you know, traditional hard drive, so you wouldn't expect super fast load time. So this is just for offloading your junk onto this drive, and that sounded kind of wrong. But anyways, moving on, let's keep it rolling. For the video card, I've chosen the MSI Radeon R9 380 4GB video card, and you know, I've gone with AMD this time. You know, that's a world first. I don't think I've done any 2016 builds with an AMD card, but either way, there's a first time for everything. You know, the R9 380 is a really nice card. It is able to handle most games at Ultra 1080p, especially the new release ones. And with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, you got plenty to work with there, for like extra shaders, extra textures and stuff, as well as, you know, recording with your graphics card. If you are an aspiring content creator, you probably want to record your gameplay with your graphics card, so you don't put too much strain on your CPU. That is a really good choice. And you know, MSI, they make fantastic graphics cards. This is the OC version, which means that it will be overclocked right out of the box, so you will get faster performance compared to the reference version of this card, and you know, as well as there being MSI Afterburner, which means that you can overclock this card even further and get even more performance out of it. And it does have the aftermarket cooler, which means that everything will be running nice and frosty even with the overclocks on. So very solid card choice. Obviously you can upgrade this later, perhaps pick up a 1080 like in one or 2 years time, and you will be nice and sweet. So going on to the case, I've chosen something a little bit nicer. I've chosen the Corsair Carbide 400C ATX mid-tower case, and this case is just really fantastic. You know, it looks really clean with the full metal build, and you know, it doesn't have the CD drive slot, so you don't need that stuff anymore. They're becoming quite obsolete, so that keeps it nice and clean. It does have the detachable plexiglass panel, which may, you know, showcases your components, as well as it being inverted, which means, you know, everything's pretty much round the wrong way, which may seem a little bit funny, but it does work out to make your case airflow a lot better. So you will get better cooling with this case. So chosen something a little bit nicer again for the upgradability. So maybe if you want to get nicer parts, if you want to put in, you know, showcase, LEDs, stuff like that, make your PC look fancy, this will be the case to do it. And maybe if you want to upgrade in a couple of years time, you won't have to get a new case to be able to fit in more components and stuff. This will be able to do it for you. So it is able to be bought for a reasonable price. However, if you don't want to spend that much money right now on a case, you can definitely downgrade to something a little bit more budget. However, I still think this is a solid choice. As well, you know, this is a custom build. If you don't like the case, you can obviously swap it out for something else. Everyone has different design tastes, so yeah. Either way, I think that is a very solid choice. Going on to the power supply, I've chosen the EVGA 650 watt 80 plus gold certified semi-modular ATX power supply, and this is the GQ model or variant, and it's a really good power supply for the price. So it is 650 watts, which is plenty of wattage to power your components, especially with the AMD power hungry card. It is 80 plus gold certified, which means it does run more efficient than your average power supplies, as well as it being semi-modular, which means, you know, it only has the attached cables that you need, such as the ATX 24 pin, as well as the 8 pin CPU cable, and then you can plug in other things such as your SATA cables and your graphics card PCIe cables, and that just makes for an easier cable management experience, because you don't have to plug in some of the cables that you don't use, meaning that you don't have to, you know, store them away, and it just makes everything a lot easier, a lot cleaner, especially with that window. You want to make things nice and clean. So yeah, this is a really nice choice. It is able to be had for a really reasonable, really good price. EVGA's power supply game is just on point right now, so yeah, pretty much every power supply that I include in my builds is EVGA, and I have no hesitations in recommending them. So that pretty much concludes it for the PC build. So going on to the peripherals and components, yeah, I guess peripherals. For the monitor, I've chosen the Asus VP247H P 60Hz 23.6 inch monitor. So very solid 1080p monitor, 60Hz, which is absolutely fine for running your games at 60 FPS. It is 23.6 inches, so it is a reasonable size, you know, not too big, not too small. And Asus, you know, they make really high quality products, as well as their monitors being no exception. So this monitor is really solid, really nice beginner monitor, and yeah, wouldn't really hesitate to buy one of these, especially if you do plan on buying a nicer monitor in the future. You could probably use this as a secondary one. So yeah, very solid choice. Going on to the keyboard and mouse, I've actually chosen a combo here, the Cooler Master CM Storm Devastator gaming bundle. And you know, comes with a mouse and keyboard. This is actually the exact keyboard that I use. I just swapped out the mouse for a Razer mouse. But anyways, this is a really solid choice. It comes in at a really good price, and you know, for the money you just can't beat it. Obviously not the highest quality of keyboards, and you won't, you know, have the nice mechanical feel. This is still, you know, rubberized and stuff. But either way, it's a really solid choice. I enjoy using it. Like, I don't have any complaints using it, especially for the price that it does come at. It comes with a mouse. The mouse has like buttons on the side, and it does have changeable DPI settings. And the keyboard, you know, it does light up, so it kind of looks a little bit fancy. Obviously you can turn it off. It does come in various colors such as blue, red, and the aforementioned blue, red, and green. So yeah, you have a couple of choices there. But either way, very solid choice, you know. Or it could work as like a backup. Maybe if you get a nicer mouse and keyboard, you can just chuck this in your cupboard. If your nicer mouse and keyboard breaks, you can just swap it out and just have a keyboard ready to go. So yeah, really solid choice. You just can't beat this for the price. So going on to the headset, the last item of the build, I've chosen the Logitech G230, and this is also another really solid choice, and at a really good price too. So it's a stereo headset with a mic, and you know, it's red, so it kind of fits in with the theme. Logitech makes really nice headsets, from their high-end budgets like the G933 down to the low end to the G230. These are really solid pair of headphones. Obviously not the highest build quality in the world, but they will do the job just fine and output high quality sound to your ears and your ear holes and stuff. So yeah, this will be absolutely sweet, and the inbuilt mic will be just fine for recording, doing some voiceovers, game chat, stuff like that. So you will be absolutely sussed there. Total price of this build is $1,017.29. So everything that you need to know about this build is in the description below if you want to check out the PC Public link, as well as a parts list. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, stuff like that, everything down in the description below. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you did stick around to the end, really do appreciate it, and let me know what you guys think about the build. If you did you know, agree with my part choices. If you don't agree, you know, leave your comments below. I'd really like to know what you guys have to say, as well as give this video a like if you did enjoy. So again, that has been it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.